Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today we're hunkering down for an Age of Kings classic as Margougou, playing as the Red Persians, prepares to take on Hearttt, playing as the Blue Britons. Now while the players herd their herdables, explore their immediate surroundings, and try to go up to Feudal as fast as possible, no, you cannot convert those goats with your goat. Let's take a look at the Civ matchup we'll be watching today. The Persians, an economic juggernaut with a tech tree that's incredibly strong and diverse, in addition to getting access to every single economic upgrade and technology available in the game. They start the game with 50 extra food, 50 extra wood. Their town centers work progressively faster starting in Feudal, and they can be a pain in the butt to raid because their town centers, take a look, start with twice the normal HP, 4,800 HP, compared to the usual 2,400. Now, using this very, very powerful economic base, the Persians can, if they so wish, focus heavily on cavalry. Their Nightline units come with extra attack against archers, and they're the only civ in the game to have access to hussars, paladins, and heavy camel riders with all cavalry upgrades. I'm talking about all blacksmith upgrades and all stable upgrades. Now, the availability of all these upgrades does come in handy for their unique unit, the War Elephant, a very powerful elephant unit with a strong attack, huge amount of hit points, that also does trample damage, but is both super expensive and super slow. Now, remember, you can upgrade it to move 30% faster, but still quite slow. Now, to help their cavalry and support them on the field of battle, the Persian archers and crossbows can be upgraded to turn them into trash units by making them cost only 60 wood and no gold whatsoever. Speaking of archers, ain't none finer than the Britons. Hearttt, playing as the Britons in blue, a civ built around supporting its ranged units. Briton archery ranges work 10% faster. Their foot archers, except for skirmishers, come with extra range starting in castle, all the way up to +2 extra range in imperial. And if that's still not enough range for you, you can upgrade all of their foot archers to get even more range. Now, all this extra range is fantastic news for their unique unit, the longbow. This is an overall decent foot archer unit that comes with a massive +12, or I shouldn't say +12. That makes no sense. A massive 12 range when it's fully upgraded. Now, Briton Trebs are also some of the most dangerous in the game because they can be upgraded to do blast damage and also have 100% accuracy against non-moving units in the game. Now, in order for the Britons to support their military-industrial complex town centers, these guys cost 50% less wood, and their shepherds work 25% faster. So this is, as I mentioned, a classic matchup. As someone who's been playing, watching, and loving this game since 1998, I can tell you that there have been many a Persian versus Briton game, although keep in mind, this is harkening back 25 years. The civs have changed a tiny little bit, but the meta has not. The Persians have always just been such an incredibly powerful civilization, such a diverse tech tree. Oh my god, he's going to lose a zebra? No, Hearttt a little bit too good for that, of course. The Britons always have been a ranged civilization. Let's take a look at their bases while the players continue establishing their settlements, both of them getting loom at the exact same time. Both of them have basically the exact same amount of food. So I expect them both to go up to Feudal at the exact same time, if not within seconds apart. And of course, as I say that, I am immediately proven wrong. Our Persian still down about 100 food. Might want to right-click these units into the town center to get that extra food immediately. There we go. He does that, and now goes up to Feudal about, 30 seconds behind his opponent? A good time to investigate and see what the bases are like. I don't mind this Persian base at all. Decent wall off to the southwest. Forward-facing portion open, but the back nice and secure. This is basically 1, 2, 3 tiles, if even. No, 2 tiles that need to secure his entire northern perimeter. By the way, Hearttt has discovered where his opponent is, Margougou, also, but just the periphery. Although he can probably suspect and figure out where that town center is based on the location of these structures. Primary gold, love it. Nice and secure in the back. Primary stone, also nice and secure in the back. Hearttt sees this. Let's take a look at his base. Forward-facing portion, easy to wall off. Bottom left, rather. Oh my goodness. I should have one of those mittens sewn into my sleeves that says L and R. Bottom left, a little bit harder to wall off, but not bad at all. North, completely open. Primary gold incredibly close to the town center, making it much harder to raid. Primary stone a little bit off campus. So overall, the bases are pretty interesting, quite similar in that the portions facing their opponents are not the hardest to wall off, and both have a nice and safe and secure primary gold, although the ones for the Persian, including the stone, are a little bit safer, whereas the one for our Briton is off to the side, and primary stone off to the side as well, not really in the back-facing position. Both players now in feudal. Archery range is the order of the day for our Briton. Archery range is the order of the day for our Persian. Very similar build styles. One's got militia, one's got men-at-arms, villagers, and a spearman. Men-at-arm does die. A second one does die as well. 2-to-1 kill count. And now the scout has to get the hell out of town. The spearman is going to chase him down. What's the movement speed? Does it change at all during the upgrade? It does not. And so they're going to have a tough time catching up unless this man-at-arms makes some kind of pivot or turn or some kind of unexpected stop. In theory, now that he's ahead of them, should never actually be caught. Scout continuing to be problematic here, circling around, trying to get information. Decides to go back. Okay, I thought he was going to steal ostriches for a second. That's, of course, a silly thing to think. Let's see what the players are doing behind this while this low-stakes desert chase continues. Oh, man, ostriches, camels. What is this, a vulture even? Okay, it does manage to take some damage, but look at this. This was all a feint. This was all a trap, and the mouse has entered the mouse trap. One militia dies immediately to these archers, but the Persian archers are out as well. Upgrades, non-existent for both players, although in, what is it, 10 seconds, our Briton will have fletching. +1 attack, +1 range will be added, but he is outnumbered for a brief second. Militia continue to fall, rather, as the meta of the game, as the strategy of the game shifts into ranged mode. 4 archers and a spearman against 3 archers and a spearman. Very similar build styles, very similar, i.e. identical civilian populations. No one yet building... Okay, never mind. That thatched roof sometimes confuses me. Blacksmith for our Briton, blacksmith for our Persian. So both of them have the requisite structures. Neither of them has the requisite resources. Blue might want to get the hell out of Dodge here. Although, you know what? This Persian army outnumbers him, but 3 of those units are actually quite damaged. Although, speaking of damaged, 1 HP left on this archer makes it very hard for our Briton to engage. Oh no, why? Why did you have to do this? Innocent animals do not deserve such a fate, especially in a humane game like Age of Empires. Oh my goodness, I can see myself clutching the sand like Willem Dafoe in that movie about Vietnam, whose name for some reason I can't remember right now, and just screaming my hands in the air, yelling, why? Why did you have to kill the ostrich? Why did you have to kill the camel? You monster, whoever did that. Hearttt, if you're listening to this, whichever one of you did it is now in my bad books for about 5 seconds until, of course, I forget about it. And then don't care as much. Our Persian doing a good job defending this, by the way. Not banking any resources at all, while our Briton does actually continue to accumulate. Very interesting. Our Persian going into skirmishers, food count non-existent, whereas our Briton has stopped at 5. Our Persian's going up to 7. 14 villagers on food for our Briton, 17 for our Persian. Both players very, very similar, not only play style, but macro style, because take a look. Civilian populations almost identical. Villager allocation a little bit different. More food for our Briton. Or rather, more wood for our Briton, more food for our Persians. Sorry. My God, you monsters. You absolute monsters. Why? Why are you doing that? Oh, my God. I don't know which circle of hell in Dante's Inferno you go to if you kill innocent animals on a computer game, but it is definitely one of the lower circles of hell. Okay, armies chasing each other around the map here. Red chasing blue to the left, blue chasing red to the right. Skirmishers more and more coming out. These archers have to get the hell out of here. Look at their HP. 50 out of 120 means that they are on death's door. Okay, finally we've got one engaged, but a skirmisher for an archer. Pretty damn equal trade, all things considered at this stage of the game. Our Persian going up to 40 villagers. So we're going to see, doesn't look like anyone's interested at all in relenting the aggression here. We're going to see a lot of aggression, I'm hoping, this game. Our Briton heading up to castle first. Our Persian might have been overdoing it on the gold, to be honest. He's got only 400 food. He must have seen the score dip for Hearttt, must know exactly what that means, but now Hearttt finds himself on the defensive. Luckily, take a look at on the defensive, very far from his settlement, which means that this settlement is nice and safe. He can continue mining his gold. He can continue getting his lumber, his food. He's getting a stable up. All of this aggression, this is all designed to distract Margougou, to make sure that he cannot put any kind of pressure on Heartt's base while Hearttt goes up to castle. On the other hand, though, Hearttt, with this incredibly brave scout, 1 HP on him. Margougou knows that, and so he's chasing him with a villager. This scout, literally a stiff wind will blow him over and kill him. Let's see. Let's see it. You know, it might actually be advantageous for Margougou to leave this scout alive. I mean, not that he's any player here is supply capped at the moment, but if your opponent is supply capped, would you rather that they have supply cap with units at full health, or would you rather they be supply capped with units that are about to die, right? So later on in the game, as you get more and more supply, as the players hit that 200, juicy 200 population, it's something to think about. By the way, only now the harassment is starting, and now our Persian's going to go in and he's going to say, wait a second, these houses are going to become all of a sudden a little bit nicer, a little bit more modern, a little bit more Dutch, it looks like, right? I think. In any event, castle hit first. Botkin crossbow on the way for our Briton. No surprise there. And now that he's in castle, by the way, take a look. Range, +1 extra range. Still has to be careful, though. Even as crossbows, you've got a whole bunch of skirmishers for our Persian, who is going to be in a castle in 8 seconds himself. But look at that extra range. Our Persian is going to regret not building more than 2 stables. Never mind. Okay. I thought I was about to say build more than 1 stable, but of course, our Persian, which I said, they like to go their cavalry. Knights are already on the production tab. But 18 Briton crossbows. He is housed at 60, is our Briton. Needs to get a few more houses up. Waiting for this town center to go up is not a valid solution. Okay, pulls villagers from the farms. There you go. That's how you do it. Another knight enters the chat, this time on the side of the Britons. Okay, they're missing, but 8 range to 7. As long as they can maintain that range advantage, there's literally nothing these skirmishers can do. But this is a very tentative dance, because the second these crossbows enter into an area that Margougou feels is advantageous to him, his knights, 4 knights, are going to pounce. And as the crossbows fixate on those knights, as they should, the skirmishers, which are now elite, by the way, are going to pounce themselves. And here we go. He decides this is the moment. Not too sure why. His opponent has the high ground. One brave crossbow. One brave crossbow luring this army. 22 army supply to 18. All of it basically where we can see it right now for our Briton. Okay. Shots are missing. Skirmishers attacking knights. The players no doubt very nervous, microing their hearts out right now. Who wouldn't be? My goodness, one wrong step, one wrong move, one wrong click of that mouse. Whether you're left-handed or right-handed doesn't matter, or ambidextrous. One wrong click and your entire army is donezo. And we are at a very tentative stage of the game because whoever gains the advantage now is generally the player who starts pushing out with structures, starts pushing out and dictating the pace of the game. You might think this is a battle for a few square tiles on the map, but my goodness, it is more than that. And that is absolutely why I love this game. There's just so much more. Or maybe I'm just crazy and I'm reading things into this game that don't exist. You know what? Both things can be true. If you're new to my casts, welcome to the stream of consciousness thought that is Cast of Empires. I invite you to join us live as we go every night. Although this week might be a little bit different because I am expecting the birth of my first child. My wife, ready to pop at any moment, if she hasn't already by the time this video is released. So, all of that is to say, once things stabilize on the home front, because I believe they're going to get very chaotic very quickly with a new villager in my settlement, there will be a return to daily live streams. And there you can come and join and chat. Tell me if you think I'm right. Tell me if you think I'm crazy. Tell me if you think this knight with 3 HP needs to get the hell out of here. He is just dead weight right now. Although might want to charge into the monk. No, monk gets sniped by our Briton. There is so much micro happening, I don't even want to look away. But yeah, you should definitely check out our live streams every single night if we can. Okay, parties disengaged. Let's take a quick look at the bases. Our Briton going up to a 3rd town center. Still the 2 archery ranges. Still just 1 stable for him. Our Persian. Still the exact same structures, but with a monastery added. Because why the hell not? Good old counter to the knights. That one knight with 3 HP charge in. My god. What a brave dumbass. Crossbow's getting the high ground. Stay, don't move away. And this is exactly the way this battle tends to play out. Skirmishers try to close the gap with the crossbows. Crossbows try to support their own knights. And looks like red has lost all of his knights. And now the knights for blue are free to attack. But one of them again has basically, what, 7 HP? What's the faith on this monk? Oh, no, not full faith yet. 2 fresh knights come out. Why are they disengaging? That monk sound is from your own monk. Blue doesn't have any monks. Well, blue does have those, a whole bunch of crossbows, +2 attack, +1 armor, 8 range on them. And here we go. What did I say? The winner of the desert battle generally dictates the pace. Hearttt taking a little bit of a more conservative approach, I would say. Building in the center of the map. 3rd town center going up for our Persian as well. But look, he's starting to expand outwards is our blue Briton. Man, no thumb ring for these units. So annoying. But with that, I think the Britons would just be... it's one of those upgrades where you think, you know what, if they have it, it's just going to be very hard to deal with them. I don't want to use the term OP, but they would be very hard to deal with. Speaking of OP, look at the Persian moving forward. I don't know why these skirmishers are moving this close. They don't need to be 2 tiles away. You still have 7 range, right? Yeah. But things are starting to go get pretty problematic here for blue. I hope he garrisons the mangonel. I hope it doesn't come out of the siege workshop at this exact wrong moment. Yes, it stays garrisoned. Okay, our Briton transitioning into 1 knight. Army supply, a 5th of his opponent. So even though he won that battle initially, it seems like it was quite a Pyrrhic victory because our Persian is out with 4 times, 3.5 times the army supply. But take a look at civilian population. 89, 90 villagers to 77. Very rare to see a Persian economy get outmatched this early in the game, and 33 minutes, let's say the mid game. But our Briton 3 plus, oh my god, 3 plus 3, 13 and more villagers ahead. Oh, Mangonel comes out, or is it evicted? He got evicted. Remember, when a building reaches 20% of its HP, it absolutely evicts like an angry landlord all the units that are inside. Villager lead now only at 11, now at 10. Wheelbarrow being researched for our Briton. This is a good moment for him to research that. He's back up to 15 crossbows and new siege workshop. And neither player really can get an advantage over the other here. This is an absolutely fantastic game so far. Kill count, our Persian is ahead, but not in any kind of game-ending, game-deciding way. 13 kills ahead at the 34-minute mark is not terrible. Our Briton might want to back this up with a stone wall or maybe some houses. Otherwise, the Persian maybe want to plug this hole up, though. Remember, our Persian's been here before. He knows there's that gap, and if he comes in and he finds it, these knights with +1, +2 are absolutely going to pounce. And while these crossbows are fantastic, and while this mangonel will shoo away these skirmishers, the crossbows are slow. The knights are here. The barracks is down. The Briton settlement is in trouble. He is going to get a whole bunch of civilian kills now. That being said, he's taking a good amount of damage from these crossbows. Not enough to one-shot the knights, but definitely enough to do some damage to their HP together with the town center. Knights not the strongest against the town center. I mean, it takes a good amount of volleys, but it does significant damage. It does absolutely significant damage. Oh, the skirmishers did a little U-turn, abusing the slow-moving mangonel. But look at that, our Briton has cleared this up. Now he's gone from being up 11 villagers, now he's down 4 villagers. Another town center being built for him. He says, you know what, I don't want to run all the way back here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Idols, man. 10 idols still for our Briton. Where are they? Aw, they're in the farming. Isn't that so annoying when that happens? You get raided, you put your villagers into the town center. Good shot by the mangonel, by the way. And then you ungarrison them, or whatever the hell the term is for villagers, and they just kind of stand around, kind of looking at you. Doopy doopy doop. What do I do now? You get back inside the town center and you absolutely quash and squash and fire arrows from every arrow slit you can. And see what I mean by the knights taking a good amount of damage from these town centers. So do the skirmishers. And look at that. The player dictating the pace of the game is the one with the forward castle here. 3 army supply for our Briton. How did he go from being in such an advantageous position to such an absolutely terrible position? Although I say terrible because of this castle. But to be fair, he's only down 5 villagers. He's only down 5 army supply. He's getting a castle of his own. So Hearttt here has stabilized. Let that be a lesson to all of us. You know, if your town center is under attack, if all of a sudden 15 knights show up, don't GG. Defend it with every ounce of strength. You might actually work out to have defended it quite well, even though now you're down 10 villagers, 11 villagers. You're down army supply, but here comes your castle. Knights are streaming north for our Persian. He's going to intercept. He's going to see this market going up. Not that our Briton really has that many resources to speak of except for food and gold. I wonder if he's going to rush to Imperial. That might be a very bad idea. That'll just give Margougou more and more supply advantage. If your opponent is going, oh, he's going up to Imperial. Now I'm worried. Because while he has invested all of his resources, take a look. Our Briton is Baroque as a joke. Does have enough for one more castle, though. Now, all of a sudden... Oh, no, look at that. Margougou realizes it. Margougou realizes it and goes up to Imperial. I thought what he would do is start swarming over his opponent with Castle Age units because, again, it's a double whammy. Because, number one, look, you're attacking, he's garrisoning. 15 villagers are doing nothing. 41 idle villagers for our Briton. 41 idle villagers. That's the first whammy. The second whammy is that he's broke. He's got no resources. And the more his villagers hide inside the town centers, the less resources he is gathering. So I don't know that going up to Imperial was necessarily the right move for Margougou. We'll see how the game ultimately plays out. But definitely something to consider. Lots of different strategies, tactics in this game. Hearttt using all of his villagers, 113. He is now down 20 villagers. Remember, these Persian town centers get progressively quicker in their operations. Now that he's going to hit Imperial, they will be working 20% faster. That is a huge difference. Town center goes down for our Britain, by the way, behind all this. Pikemen are out. Our Britain is standing in place, which means these archers are having a field day. Okay, a couple of houses and some palisade walls. Oh no, this isn't Rage Forest. This is Arabia 1v1. But we are still seeing some villager on villager violence. But the red villager has the high ground. I don't care what else is happening on the map. We have to watch this. Oh, that high ground advantage. Always so good to have. Siege Workshop also coming under attack. But look at this. Another castle for our Britons. He's halfway up to getting enough stone for the other one. He's an Imperial, getting a Halberdier upgrade. To the Cavalier upgrade of our Persian, who, by the way... Oh my goodness, I love this unit. We discovered during one of the live streams that the Persian War Elephant comes with tramp stamps on both, one on each leg, one on each butt cheek, let's call it. Now army supply is equalized. Our Britain down significantly in villagers, but not terrible. You know, 120 villagers for the Britons is good. These are not expensive units. Crossbows, longbows. This is an expensive unit. This War Elephant basically costs 250 resources, 170 food, 85 gold. Whereas, where are they now? This longbow basically costs, what? 3 times less? 35 wood, 40 gold? So the Britons don't need as large an economy as the Persians do in order to sustain. And Cavaliers, of course, you know. Not a cheap unit as well. This is not Schlachte Polish Cavaliers. This is just basic full cost Cavaliers. So our Britain, not surprising. That's why I'm saying he's down about 22 villagers, but not the worst for a Britain to be down. Only and last elephant does end up dying. 3 trebs for our Britain, 3 trebs for our Persian. The battlefront is exploding everywhere. I'm going to try to zoom out, see if I can capture it on one screen. Treb goes down. Cavaliers trying to raid, but they're entering a little kill zone here with nothing. What is happening down here, by the way? Oh, yeah, look at this brave longbowman attacking a house, tickling 1 HP away. So this guy attacks every 2 seconds at 900 HP, which means, what, 1,800 seconds? So 30 minutes, if my math is correct, for him to destroy that house? Oh, fun with mathematics. Guys, I'm having a real fun time with this game. Any kind of classic Age of Kings game just brings out the child in me, the inner baby, the inner teenager, and I just get into a mind space of super duper fun. Light Cav are now Hussars upgrades, not quite fully upgraded. Chemistry as well for, I guess, his castles, because he's got no ranged units. Oh, Cavaliers raiding, and now we're entering the stage of the game where there's going to be some big raids. And look at this. 2 Cavaliers managing to absolutely slaughter that entire area. However, our Britain is fighting back. Ooh, 45 army supply. 29 of that is in Halberdiers. So these Hussars have to be very careful. Our Britain needs to wall off certain portions of his base, compartmentalize to make it easier to defend, because there's no point in throwing 16 army supply chasing 6. You're basically wasting 10 army supply here. And you have to, because you know your opponent has the tankier, stronger unit, and even though you've got the quote-unquote counter, the HP difference is really what makes the a halberdier not able to go one-on-one, toe-to-toe with these Cavaliers. Castle under attack from the north with a few exposed trebs, but I say exposed. There's nothing here from our Britain that can even remotely engage into this, and now our Britain's entire town is on fire. When was the Great London Fire? 1600s? Something like that? Loses 1 treb. Our Persian has enough stone to repair this. Our Britain repairing the treb. Does manage to save it. More raiding over here with a full health Cavalier. Yikes, already 1 kill on him. But look at this. Cavaliers are out for our Britain. No bloodlines means that they are going to be stuck at 140 HP, whereas our Persian also... No, wait a second. What am I... Wait, 1 second. What the hell's going on? Converted Cavaliers, of course. I thought these were Briton Cavaliers. I was wondering, why are they at 140 HP? My brain is not making sense of what my mouth is saying, which has landed me in trouble in the past. Another elephant out. Look at that base attack 15. That jumps to a 20 with the elite. A base attack of 20. This is a Shotel warrior in elephant form. I mean, our Briton is doing a good job, number one, keeping up with population, and number two, getting red to waste all of his stone. Right? Just has to withstand one more shot. There we go. Perfect. He's getting okay, red is all of a sudden has 200 more stone. Okay, the situation in the bottom has stabilized. The situation at the top has stabilized. And now all avenues of attack are in the center. Our Briton has not only held, but now he has almost twice the army supply of the Persian. Not too sure I like this tech switch into hand cannoneers. Although if you're wanting, if you want to get rid of halberdiers, those are pretty damn good. Doesn't actually see a lot of ranged units out of our Britain, so figures, you know what? I don't see skirmishers. I don't see arbalests. I don't see longbows. So why the hell not get some hand cannoneers? Because you're going to charge into me with halbs, and I'm just going to cut you to pieces. And FYI, if you try to bring out skirmishers against me with your 8 range, I'm just going to shred them to pieces with my hussars as well. So a brief, quiet moment in the battle. A lull has now ended. Raiding to the south, raiding to the north and center has continued. He's taking his opponent's contested stone, and now he's going to be able to run circles. This is going to be very problematic for our Britain. We saw a lot of games on this channel where a player just gets blocked into his space and does not have the speedier unit to bust out and do raiding of his own. Because right now, Hearttt, he's down 50 supply, 45 supply. Well, now basically 50. He needs to raid his opponent. He needs to distract. He needs time. And in this kind of game, the only time that you can have is by distracting your opponent. And the only way to distract your opponent right now is to raid. Oh, man. Oh, hussars are just going to swarm over everything. Man, those Persians with their massive economy can just switch on a dime. My goodness. What started off as an insanely crazy, micro-heavy archer war quickly devolved into a hussar, cavalier, hand cannoneer army for our Persian. Look at this, 25 hussars, 14 hand cannoneers. Cavalier count's been knocked down to 1. He's kind of, you know, the old guard, resting on retirement here with 0 kills. Tiefing, still tiefing the stone. House is still up spotting. As little as they do, it's still a helpful spot. And our Britain has the resources, but what does he have militarily? Nothing, not much. And I think 7 barracks is fine. I mean, 5 of them are right here in the front. 2 of them are up north. I love the location of these barracks, by the way. In case he gets raided here, this is a great emergency response location. So good decision at Hearttt to build them there. But ultimately, the speed of these hussars, their ability to strike in multiple locations, the ability to be everywhere, and not only that, the ability to even take on halberdiers now that they've got hand cannoneer backing, was just too much for our Britain. And even though the Persian is supply capped and has no trebs, he doesn't know that. Take a look at his vision. Once this treb falls, by the way, that vision is going to be significantly constrained because that treb has a lot of vision. He's got the outposts here. But beyond that, I mean, imagine you're a farmer here. You're a British farmer, tilling your fields, getting whatever fruit or vegetable your lord desires for his nightly meal. And there's the ether. And out of this fog, out of this darkness, out of this shroud of mystery, come 5 hussars, 10 hussars, cavaliers. You have no freaking clue. So take a look at this. In the meantime, red, right up the center, 6 archery ranges, 8 stables, all located right here in the center. 2 of them in the back position, but still close enough. These hussars should move at 1.65. Yeah. Our Persian just able to steamroll over his opponent, and Hearttt, despite the fact that he has a good amount of resources, no longer has castles to build his longbows. And by the way, never upgraded his crossbows to arbalests. And if he starts doing that now, he's not going to have enough time to get out units. So it's it's like, damn, where the hell did these hussars come from? You know, where they came from, that freaking Persian economy. 149 villagers. Man, can they tech switch on a dime. Take a look at that Persian list of upgrades. Look at that. Every single military upgrade under the sun except for infantry, which you don't want. Because infantry, you don't want to engage the Briton archers with infantry if you don't have to. If you can engage them with cavalry, with gunpowder, with siege, with anything. There we go. There's siege right as I say that. 2 forward siege workshops. An absolute fantastic classic match. Let's take a look at the stats. 123 hussars, 127 halbs. Peak APM in the earlier portion of the game. Peak APM for Margougou right at the end, literally a minute ago. Not surprised with the multi-pronged rating. Let's take a look at the economy. This is going to be a joke. Oh my God. 17,000, 30% bigger is our Persian economy. Even though, remember, I was singing the praises of our Briton at around the 33 or so minute mark. Where was it? The 30-minute mark of the game? When, yeah, take a look. Our Briton, where was it? 36-minute mark of the game is where things change. This is where the blue line starts becoming lower than the red line. And that red line just explodes upwards while our blue line kind of meanders up and down, up and down. But right up until then, I was very proud of our Briton. And this is why, because I thought he was keeping pace. But at the end of the day, that explosion at the end, look at this. It's not in the wood because our Briton, of course, getting more wood. But look at that, 12,000 more food, 8,000 more gold. Or what is that, 7,500 for you, for everyone who likes things to be exact. Although minus 2,000 is 5,500 extra gold, 2,000 from the relics, and even enough stone for what, almost 2 castles worth of stone, which, by the way, if the game had continued, would be enough. Add another 851 difference to that. Wow. Although maybe not. Look at the blue is mining stone over here. So let's split the difference and call it a castle and a half's difference in stone. Kill count 365 for our Persian, 256 for our Briton. Although this is really the problem, 106 villager kills. And when you're playing an economic powerhouse, a juggernaut like the Persians, and you're not out on the map raiding, it is very problematic. Now, in all fairness, the Britons don't have hussars. The Britons don't have bloodlines. So their, units are not quite as strong as these hussars. But let me ask you this. Does it really matter? If your hussar is here raiding with 20 less HP, does it really matter? Or your light cav, does it really matter? Or is the disruption what matters? Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. Obviously, the longevity, the length of the disruption is important as well. And the tankier your unit, the more arrow fire it can take from town centers, and the more powerful it is, the longer it can raid for. But right now, in this game, in this specific instance, I think raiding for the sake of raiding qua raiding, let's put it like that if we want to get fancy, is exactly what our Briton needed to do. Completely open to the left, completely open to the right, not in the center, not in the center at all, but the left, the right, open for business, farms everywhere, undefended. This is dozens and dozens of villagers that could have been attacked by our Briton. And by the way, look at this. Look how bad the Britons' vision is. For a brief moment, I thought our Briton had the momentum here. Remember, he built the siege workshop here, and that got demolished immediately once those knights and skirmishers came out. And ever since then, our Briton has been on the back foot, even though he did keep pace economically. And even though he did manage to dislodge, I think there was a Persian castle here, if I'm not mistaken, on this big old circle patch of dirt. where this hussar's wings are slowly melting into the sand. At the end of the day, he just couldn't keep up. You need to... What is... In House of Cards, what does Frank say in the first episode? How do you devour a whale? You devour him one bite at a time. And that's what our Briton needed to do. For all the nerves, for all the intense micro here to the front, defend as best you can, but definitely send out five light cav. Spend a little bit of food, and then all of a sudden, believe me, the mentality of the Persian will change. Because your opponent is attacking, is not giving a second thought to defending. The second that doubt enters his mind, the second he has to consider, you know what? I have to alter my strategy here. Maybe, just maybe, he'll give you some breathing room. And then you can use your trebs to start shelling away at the castles. You can build up more and more halberdiers. You've got the resources. Like I said, the Britons don't need a lot of economy, unlike the Persians, who need a lot to get an elephant out, to get cavaliers out. The Britons don't. Arbalests, longbows, halberdiers, maybe some light cav, maybe some cavaliers, but the majority of their army usually in these kinds of games is ranged with halberdier support. That is not an expensive army. You don't need 150 villagers as the Britons. Ultimately, those are just my opinions. Let me know in the comments if you agree, disagree. Always happy to take constructive criticism. And at the end of the day, Margougou, after demolishing this siege workshop that was here, just never relented. Hearttt, unable. By the way, look at Margougou's vision. He sees all these structures. And again, let's take a look at Heartt's vision. He sees nothing. He sees nothing. Look at this. You know nothing, Hearttt Snow, says Margougou. Takes the W, but GG in a super fun classic matchup. GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.